Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to edit your sponsor record and add duty locations to your sponsor's record for MyMilitaryConnection.com. As you can see, we're here on the landing page, and in the last video we created John Michael Carter's sponsor record. So he's in there as a sponsor, and we're going to go ahead and log in now as John Carter. Tell him I'm not a robot, and log in. Get your little success message, and it jumps us straight into the main page. Now, under Manage Sponsors is where we're going to be working today. So we go here and we go View Sponsors, and you can see that John's sponsor information is in here. If you have additional sponsors, which it's possible, it could be a married couple, or due to divorce or remarriage or something like that, there could be multiple sponsors down here, in which case you can always collapse John down and open up the next. Now in this we're going to be editing a sponsor today, and I'm going to briefly go over all three locations, and then we'll come back and we'll hit each one. So under sponsor info, this is his basic demographic information. This is where you can, and for the ladies, if you have gotten married and you entered with your maiden name would be what you should have registered with, but you'll be able to add that, and nicknames, service records. This is where you can change if you made a mistake when you were making a service record. If there are multiple service records, both will show up, and you can edit those, both or all of them, depending on how many you have. And then under duty locations is where you will come in and start adding your duty locations. And we'll explain the suggest new location when we get here. So under the sponsor info, unfortunately sometimes people may, our older users may pass away at the end time, and we do, for those people who their sponsor has already passed away, we do have a way of listing them as either unknown, living, or deceased. If you need to edit somebody's first name, if it wasn't J-O-H and it was John, and John instead, you hit Save Changes. Changes get saved, and it immediately updates in the database and on the display as well. But that was not the case with, I love that caps key. That was not the case with John here. At the same time, you can, if you were mistaken on the date of birth, you can change the date of birth. You can change it to unknown or other. Actually, that unknown is supposed to say prefer not to say, but like I said, we're still finding little quirks in the system from the host swap over that we had earlier. Now, if some folks at some bases knew him as Johnny, you can add that in there. It will immediately be in there, and when it comes down to, and we'll get there when we get to the sponsor searches, Johnny will be just as searchable as John. Maybe he had a nickname of John Boy, you know. So John Boy. So oops, cancel. That's not what I wanted to do. Edit nicknames, we add a new one, John Boy. I was wondering what I was doing there. But you can edit them here too. So John Boy, married names, however you want to do it. Say you wanted to make these changes, instead of John being born in March, he was born in May of that year, you hit the Save Changes, and then you've got John in May. But we're going to go ahead and take it back to March because that is his birth date. So if you didn't know his middle name, now is where you can, and you had to go do a little research, now is where you can go find it and add it in there. So that's basically what there is to know about the edit sponsor info. We come back here to service records, and now say you made a mistake and you know it was an older sponsor that you put in, and they're deceased, and you weren't able to get a hold of them at the time, and you thought that they were, maybe you thought that they were reserve and they were actually National Guard. It updates automatically between any one of the choices that you make. So maybe he wasn't enlisted. maybe he was an officer. Service dates, you'll be able to edit those. You had one of the months wrong, or maybe you had the year wrong. You can hit that and it updates all on the fly. But in this case, he was active duty, and his service date was doesn't really matter, but it was 1964. The month is not as important as the date, as the year, but it still carries some weight in the system. Service dates. It was actually... Oh, you know what? We'll leave it as 5. All right. So, service records, and this is, again, I'll go back and make the changes when I look at his service record date later. But this is why it's not as important. You can come back in here and change this as needed. Now, the meat of what we're going to be talking about now is the duty locations. The editing of the information is pretty straightforward. It should be pretty self-explanatory when you get there. But the duty locations, now's where it can get a little complicated. We did our best to capture every military base that's out there in the world today, and we know that we have most likely missed some, if not quite a few. And when it comes to historical bases, for example, I myself, my first duty location when I got out of tech school at Keesler back in 1990 was supposed to be Myrtle Beach Air Force Base, but one of the BRACs, the base closings that they did, decided that while I was in tech school, Myrtle Beach would be closing down and they weren't taking any more new assignments. So I went on leave and they told me I'd get my assignment, and they figured that a suitable location to replace Myrtle Beach was Elmendorf Air Force Base in Alaska. Both close to the water, just far different experience when you got there. So we do know that some people are not going to be able to do their entire service records because they will come to a point where they're going to hit a base that no longer exists, or maybe the base name changed. Instead of Langley Air Force Base, it's Joint Base Langley these days, or Bowling Air Force Base is Anacostia Bowling, Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. We have put this suggest new location in there, and some of our test users have already beat us up a couple times about it, and we've added some locations, Chanute and Lowry, for example, for the Air Force. So in this instance, we're going to go ahead and add a service location. He was at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. Let's see if I can get down here to Texas. Lackland Air Force Base. Not Laughlin, Lackland. Now, quick note, if either active duty or guard, if you notice, we've got just the Air Force bases listed here right now. If you click this guard location, it goes to Texas, and there's your guard locations. So we haven't forgot our guard partners there. So we're going to go ahead and go to Lackland. And he started in, what date did I say? I think it was 5. Let's see. In 1964. Let's get down there to 60s. And I don't know how long basic training was. They didn't give me the specific dates for basic on this one. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I think it was 12 weeks back then. So we'll bring him out in August of 1964. Once again, like I said, you don't have to be that specific as long as you get the basics of it right. As far as a month, if you're close, the year is really the important part. So we're going to go ahead and hit add, and now you will see that that's in there. Now if you come back later and you find out, oh, he actually went, and it's going to ask you, do you really want to edit this location? He actually went in March of that year, and he came out in June. Then you can come back in and hit save and hit OK. Duty location has been updated. Comes back and you will see that now that has been changed. And now that we've taken a look at his service dates, we need to go back in and edit again. So really, do we really want to do that? Yep. We're going to go to the second, and we're going to bring him out in May 1964. Save the changes. Are we sure we want to save them? We sure are. And then that will disappear all on its own. So now you can check that, and everything looks good. So now we go look, and from 1964 to 1969, he was at Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. So let's go add another service location. We'll go back to the Air Force, go to Texas, and we've got it in the works. We haven't fixed it yet, but we are going to make it so that once you've added another duty location and you get that success message, actually we're not Texas, it's North Dakota. Excuse me. It is going to give you the option of staying on this page, so you don't have to deal with that. So we brought him out in 5, so we need to go in. So Air Force, let's say he took a month, went home because they let you do that after you get in. Go to North Dakota, and his start month we'll put him at 7, 1964, and he came out in, guys, I needed a month, but okay, 1969. So yeah, August would be about right. So let's go to 1969, and we'll hit add a location. Oops, Minot Air Force Base. System kind of keeps you from messing yourself up too much. All right. So let's look at what the suggested new location would look like. All right. Now the next location is actually Ramstein Air Base in Germany. We're gonna act like Ramstein's not in the system. So we're gonna go add service location. We're gonna go to Air Force. We're gonna switch the country. Come into Germany. State doesn't really apply here, but when you come here, Ramstein is there, but we're going to act like it's not here in the system. We're going to go ahead and select other. We're going to go to the 9th month of 1969, and he left there in 1973. So we're just going to start January. We'll put it in 1973. All right, so we add the location, and now Ramstein Air Base, they know that they were stationed at Ramstein Air Base. They want to be able to add that and make sure that other people are also able to add it. So they're going to come over here to suggest a new location. It would be Air Force. Is it a guard location? No, it's active duty. The country, we would want to come up here to Germany. There is no state, so not worried about that. Here's where you don't have to be too specific about the location name, because we're going to any location that gets suggested, we're going to do our research. So base located, oops, not Bass base, located near Frankfurt, Germany at that time. You know, whatever you want to put in there. You hit submit, and thank you, your suggestion has been submitted. Now what this is going to do is it's going to send it to our admins, and our admins will look at these base suggestions, and eventually you will get a notification in your inbox saying, hey, the suggestion that you had for Ramstein Air Base has been added to the database. At that point, you can come back here, say, yes, I really do want to. Instead of other, now Ramstein will be populated in there, and you can hit save changes, hit OK, and your change has been made, and now you will accurately reflect your duty locations. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. I'll pause here, and then once I get these filled out, I will come back so that we can show you what a fully populated record looks like. So stand by just a second. And we're back. So I've gone ahead and filled out the rest of his duty locations, and I wish I'd done this before, but As you'll notice here with the little red asterisk, there's supposed to be a tooltip down here that tells you what that is, but we'll fix that. Over here, if you look, that denotes his unaccompanied short tour. So this is John Michael Carter's full duty location layout as it would appear in the system. If you go back to view sponsors, you now see his service dates from 1964 to 1988, his service records and locations. This would reflect, if he had another service record, it would reflect both of those. Excuse me, and the duty locations underneath there. It does say here that the asterisk does denote a short tour. So that's how you would add somebody into the system. It is pretty straightforward, but that is what his now searchable information is going to be when you come over here to the search section. I hope you found this informative, and you know, every one of these duty locations is part of somebody's history in the military, especially when it comes to the dependents that are born into the military life. This is what we knew when we grew up. So getting this as close to as you can to true ground truth is important, especially when it comes to when we start managing the schools. So once again, thank you, and I hope you found this informative, and we'll be back to show you how to start managing and adding your dependents to the system. Thank you very much.